say greetings, Earthlings.
Welcome back to the Lettuce Podcast.
Ooh, and then do a bunch of like spaceship noises, like but like them in there, like us not make.
Don't make them.
Put a noise
Okay.
in, and maybe put a space floating across the screen. Yeah. Oh, this could be fun actually.
Yeah,
I should have had like a saucer.
You take care of all of that. You're gonna do all that work.
Justine, you edit all of that in there. Good luck.
Good job. Welcome to Lettuce Podcast. Today we're talking aliens.
Spaceship.
Pretend. Spaceship.
Yeah.
Aliens don't make a lot of noises. It's usually like clicking, like it's like a purring.
Depends on the alien. Depends.
Yeah. Alf talks a lot.
Yeah.
I did watch an Ethan Hawke movie for this episode. I watched Explorers, Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix's debut film. This movie came up a lot with our Stranger Things episode, and I thought I had never seen it. I started watching it. It's a kids movie. Once the aliens appear, and they're really goofy, they're supposed to be. I'm like, oh my god, I have seen this like ages ago as a kid, ages ago. The aliens are very distinct. They make a lot of pop culture references. It was funny because River Phoenix was part of the Children of God cult. So he was like very isolated and didn't know any of the pop culture references. The kids are cute. It's an odd thing to watch as an adult because the idea is that these two little boys run away from home to find aliens. The aliens they find, they don't know at first, but realize are also kids that ran away from home. So this disenfranchising idea of the universe and how everything's the same, and it's not presented in a dark way, but as an adult, I'm like, oh wow, that's dark. It's a Joe Dante movie. They really didn't do the ending that Joe Dante wanted to do. There was a lot of rush with production. So it doesn't have the ending that Joe Dante would want. It's a cute little movie, though. With the aliens are really goofy. It's cute. It's not a high recommend, but it was a good segue from looking at JT on the train tracks to River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke. Oh God, they must be 8 or something like that in this movie.
It was one of those movies I had on VHS as a kid.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was one of those movies I watched a lot, along with Flight of the Navigator.
I've never seen this.
The aliens are a little too goofy. Even as a kid, I remember. That's how I remember. Like, oh yeah, I thought the aliens were a little too stupid to me. Even as a kid, I don't know. I couldn't get down with it.
The one alien movie me and my brother always watch that nobody's ever heard of is called Mac and Me. And
oh my god! Yes.
Yes. Or whatever they do. Oh my god! Nobody ever knows this movie.
No, there's a whole
why I know that
Mystery
movie.
Science Theater episode ripping that movie.
Really?
Oh my god, yes. And it's on Netflix. So the thing about it, the Coca-Cola saves them in the end? What is happening in that movie? Dude! Oh my god!
My brother and I, literally everybody we ever bring this movie up to, they're like, what the hell did you guys watch as a kid? Oh, you guys are my people.
Wait, but
it's basically a McDonald's advertisement. That movie feels like a McDonald's advertisement. Remember the weird birthday party? It's just a little girl's birthday party, but there's people breakdancing in the McDonald's parking lot? What is happening?
I don't remember that part, but that's funny.
I do.
I need to watch it again.
But yes, as Justine was saying, Paul Rudd, it was a running gag, right? Justine, was
still
it on
is.
Conan?
Yeah, it still is. It's on Conan. Every time Paul Rudd comes on to promote a movie, he like says, okay, so we do have a clip from the film if you want to roll it. And it's always the same clip from Mac and Me where the kid goes off the wheelchair, off the cliff.
What?
And the light comes up and goes,
oh my god.
And he plays it
I did not know this.
Time. It's his like thing. And Conan always
acts so serious. He acts so deadpan. He's like, no, this is really a clip from Ant-Man or whatever it is. I swear to God.
Every time.
The kid going off the wheelchair into the cliff.
This brings me so much joy that people even know this because nobody knows this movie. Oh, but apparently lots of people do.
This movie is in my nightmares. Oh my god, it's so weird. I can't.
It's so weird.
I can't believe, even when I was younger, I seen it like once, and then I saw it again with Mystery Science Theater only like a couple years ago with Jonah Ray. And as an adult, I'm like, wait, Coca-Cola saves them from dying? No, Justine, have you seen this movie?
No, I just know it from Paul Rudd.
No, oh my god. So the alien parents are dying on Earth, and they are saved through the power of Coca-Cola. I am not kidding. That is not an exaggeration. It is
Evolution, they're
Coca-Cola,
saved by Selsun Blue. So
and it signs they're allergic to water.
Can we talk about science?
maybe we'll have to watch
Yeah,
it.
we do
Science is
have to
my
watch Mac and Me.
We do. Oh my! Can we just do a whole Mac and Me episode? We can just literally just like
we can have a movie night. Whole episode.
we should.
Oh my
A whole
god!
episode.
Oh my
Let's do
god!
it. Yeah.
Whoa! Look at all the cars. Oh my! Mac and Me is the weirdest movie.
I'm sending
It
my
is-
brother this episode. He's gonna flip the fuck
Oh
out.
my
Hi, brother.
god! Oh god! As a wheelchair chase where the alien is in the wheelchair and they're trying to make it not too much like ET. There's secret agents running. They are running after this kid in a wheelchair.
This brings me a lot of joy.
My lungs hurt.
I've killed Emma.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! It is the weirdest movie. What are the weird? Oh my god!
It is. That's
I
what I
didn't
grew
think
up
Mac
on.
and Me was gonna come up.
Oh my god. This
Mac
is so
and Me.
exciting.
Someone could do a dissertation on the weird
100%.
commercialism of Mac and Me, and
Yeah.
it's just so odd. And there's so many things that, like, how did they think this was okay? But I just can't.
Oh, that was my whole childhood. This is so fun.
Mac and Me. So Explorers, which I thought the aliens were a little goofy with River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke, who are both great child actors, is like watching Citizen Kane, and then Mac and Me is like watching Freddy Got Fingered. I mean, it's
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Sausage!
Or however it goes.
that is you would Spooky Drew Barrymore. He's your guy.
I
So-
love that. I quoted that specific line a lot in high school.
Is that the same movie where they're like, what is that funny sound? And he's like, it is my hooves. Is it that one or no? that might be a different movie, but it sounds like Freddy Got Fingered.
It probably
Anyways.
is. People might say that sounds extreme, Emma. Freddy Got Fingered compared to Citizen Kane. Yeah, that's the difference between Explorers and Mac and Me. Mac and Me is a trip, and I could watch it over and over again at the same time. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
One of my favorite horror comedies is an alien movie, and that's Slither. And James Gunn's genius film.
Really
That
his
movie
breakout movie.
Yeah, he did Hamster PSA, so it was his first feature-length film, it looks like.
Oh, really?
He
I didn't know that.
He did Super later that I thought was also really good. It's also severely underrated.
Slimy little creature feature. That's what
It
I
is
call it.
slimy. It's so
Very
slimy.
slimy.
I don't watch the movie because it has amazing graphics, but it has graphics that make sense for the type of film it is. Like Eight-Legged Freaks is the same way. It's not like we're watching this movie for excellent like spider graphics. We're not watching Slither for extra like super amazing slug graphics. We're watching it because it's hilarious and it's over the top and it has an amazing cast. This is also one of the few films where Elizabeth Banks is like the leading female interest because she's older. That doesn't happen for actresses her age. It
She's
seems
not
like.
older in that movie. She's like in her late 20s, isn't she? Anyway,
The point is, she's not
amazing.
typically the female lead love interest, and I love her for it because she's amazing.
She is amazing in this movie. This movie is, we're still talking about Slither, but it is like an unofficial remake to Night of the Creeps with Tom Atkins, which one of my favorite lines from that movie is, ladies, I got good news and bad news. The good news is your dates are here. The bad news is they're dead. So it's the same thing with the alien slug going into the body. And
She was 35 when she filmed it, by the way.
oh, our age, older, yes, thank you. So
You know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I personally think she's old and too old to be a leading lady. I'm saying that is how most films were at the time.
I'm just poking you in your soft spots, Justine. That's all I'm doing.
Ooh, I know. You are.
Naughty.
You are.
So who's the actor that plays her older husband in the
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker.
Michael
He's
Rooker,
amazing. I
yeah.
love him and everything. He's
Yeah.
very good in
And
that.
he's my favorite of James Gunn.
Oh yeah, because he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. He also plays Merrill in The Walking Dead, Daryl's older brother.
Oh yeah.
He's
Quite a
in
lot.
another movie. He's in Brightburn with Elizabeth Banks, which also has James Gunn as producer.
Oh
Which
yeah.
technically is also an alien movie.
Yeah. I didn't
had it on my
rewatch it,
list.
but
I like that movie. I don't know why.
I like it.
I like it.
To me, it's just kind of average, though. It didn't blow me away, but I didn't hate it.
Had
It's
some
right in the
real
middle for me.
graphic kills, man. It got dark. But yeah, Michael Rooker is fantastic. He was in Super
Yes.
also.
So Slither, it's just a great horror comedy. It works on a lot
Mhm.
of levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And again, I think that's mostly because of the cast. You have a really charismatic cast that knows how to deliver humor without being
I
so
always thought
blatant
Nathan
with it.
Fillion was kind of boring.
Oh, I think he's charismatic. I think he's
I like him a lot.
He's
Me
all
too.
right.
I like him. He's got that Wild West charisma.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't.
And he's been in a
Yes,
lot of
he
stuff.
does.
I like him a lot.
Maybe not to you, Emma.
I have nothing against Nathan Fillion. I think it's just because for that time when I was just in college, everyone interested in men I knew was in love with Nathan Fillion. I just didn't get it. I don't get it.
Really?
He's okay. He's
Can you
okay.
believe that Extraterrestrial came out in
Oh
2014
my
compared to
God.
Slither in 2006?
If we're gonna talk about extraterrestrial, let's get it out of the way. I hated it.
I just watched it today.
I hated it.
It's
I'm sorry.
basically
I'm
just
sorry.
a slasher or a
Okay.
cabin in the woods type of movie.
Oh, it literally
with
opens like Cabin in
instead
the
of
Woods.
instead
It does, yeah.
the aliens start coming into it really. It's like only a half an hour in, but it felt like much longer. It's
Oh,
like
it
a
does.
story about this couple where she wants to go on to a different college and he wants to get married, and the characters are overly douchey. They're gonna get killed.
They're
It's
very
just,
over the top characters, very tropey
and
for
in
sure.
no way
Mhm.
that's fun or interesting or
Nope.
feels right. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
The whole first 2/3 of this film is just insufferable. But that final act, man, I really enjoyed it. Like the minute
I
they're
was too bored.
the minute they're abducted
Yep.
and homeboy gets a whoop, I was like, yep, I like this movie.
I was so mentally checked out by that point, man. That was a
Oh, I
struggle
love
to
the
get
other.
through.
And it has a Night of
I
the
don't
Living
know.
Dead ending, and I love that. I love it when movies have Night of the Living Dead endings where they like all just get shot by government people out of the blue. Everything seems good and chipper, and then all of a sudden, pow, they're all dead. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
I
I
was
like
glad
it.
about
I
that.
like it.
Not fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It just
No,
felt
it's
like it
not a
took
good movie.
forever.
I gave it two
We
and a half
haven't
stars
we
just
haven't
for
Yeah.
that
talked about
last act.
Signs really yet.
This is one of the few M. Night Shyamalan films that I love.
One of
my
his
favorite.
better films.
Although on watch today, I'm a little less impressed with Mel Gibson than I used to be and his performance in it.
He's
Sorry,
okay.
Crystal. He's
I'm
just
like
okay.
personally offended. I actually don't think I like Mel Gibson, but I like him in this.
He's very
Well,
one note. He's
well,
very
we all
monotone.
know Mel Gibson is a extreme anti-Semite and racist. He's still making movies. He's fine. He has a lot of
Yeah.
money. He just finished making a movie. He's fine. We don't need to worry
Yeah.
about Mel Gibson like we would.
But like we would.
He's adequate in this movie, but the movie is more about atmosphere than it feels like character. He's a priest that loses his faith after his wife dies horribly. It feels a little on the nose at the end when it's, oh, my son had asthma for a reason. I'm like, okay. But
everything is for a reason. Even Homegirl like puking before kissing him is for a reason.
That part of it was a little annoying. I do like the atmosphere of the movie a lot. Every time a character kind of walks into the room, it's this analysis of the signs of what's going on. It really has a lot of suspense to it. I remember disliking it more, and I liked it more on rewatch. I hadn't seen it in a while. It's not my favorite, but it's a decent movie. It's better than I remember. I mean, it's a little on
Solid.
the nose with the whole
Totally.
thing.
Yeah, it is. I like that it deals with the crop circles because a lot of these alien movies don't delve in with the crop circles, and I love that with aliens.
That was such a big deal when I was in high school. People talk
Yeah, I
about crop circles
know.
all the time. Yeah, so I'm so glad that it dealt with crop circles.
I
Totally.
know.
But in the film, as I rewatched it today, I noticed that most of the acting and performances are monotoned. They're all trying to just keep it in the whole time, it seems like, until they're in the basement or at the very end. And that's when like, all shit's going to hell. His kid's having an asthma attack. He already yelled at his kids over dinner. This
That
is where
little
everything's
girl is
bubbled
so
to the
cute.
surface. That's
Oh
Abigail
my
Breslin,
God.
right?
She's
Yeah, super
Good
cute. I
acting.
don't have a problem with the whole them being a weakness of water. I understand people's complaints. Like, why would aliens come to a planet that's like 70-90% water or whatever, if that's a weakness of theirs? But from my understanding, the whole point is these aliens are the initial people who are investigating and like collecting samples and doing all of the like initial checks. They're not quite invading yet. They're just
It
checking
seems
for.
pretty invadey later on.
They're like the foot soldiers that are
Well,
going
the
in
foot
and.
soldiers did not do their job because they started
Maybe they didn't
invading.
know. Maybe they had
That's what
no
I'm
idea
saying. They
that water
didn't
affects
know
them. Yeah,
about water until they got
yeah,
down here. They found out, and now they're
exactly.
not going to invade because it's water. Water's
Exactly.
bad. I could do some mental gymnastics and get around that. That's fine.
Yeah, me too.
What I can't get around is the constant gibbering about signs. Like, it is too on the nose. Like,
They
literally,
want
there's an
you to
entire
know.
monologue of Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix on the couch. And I alluded to it a little bit ago, where Joaquin Phoenix is talking about signs and how he is a miracle man. He's a miracle man because one time he was kissing Susie Buttkiss or whatever on a couch, or was going to kiss her, but he realized it was about to happen, so he took a little
To
cup
be
from.
fair,
And
that was
no,
supposed
not.
to be a cute moment. It was supposed to be
It
a
was
cute
so
story.
stupid. He like
I like
spits his gum in and he talks about how, and then he went back to kiss her and she puked all over herself. If I didn't think to spit out my gum, if I wasn't chewing gum, I would have been traumatized for life when she kissed me.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's told as like a joke. It's not told as like a serious, like, it could have been me. It was like it was a cute joke.
That is where me
Yeah.
and M. Night Shyamalan are always have problems. His
That one
delivery of
story?
jokes. No, his
Oh.
delivery of humor. If he would just lean in and be funny, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But everything is so serious and just like
There's so much humor in this.
the
No, there's
entire time in
so
all movies.
the part when they realize the aliens
That
on the
part's
roof
so
or
funny.
whatever,
That part's
and
super
he's like,
funny.
"I'm insane with anger," and he's like, "I'm gonna kick your ass, bitch," or whatever. Like, I was laughing so hard. His delivery of that is so funny because he's
The
so
paddy
awkward
wagon
about it.
part is also really funny, where he's
Yeah.
like, "We took
What's
him
a
to the
paddy
paddy wagon."
wagon?
He's
Yeah.
like, "Wagon."
Paddy wagon.
Why
Like,
did
why
we
did I
say
say
that?
that?
Oh, he's
I
talking
love those
to an
moments.
alien, like, and knows he said that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Don't get me wrong. I think those parts are funny, and I think his
Yeah.
story could be funny. I just think that sometimes his delivery of everything else is so overshadowing that it doesn't work. Like that part where they're running around the house and they're screaming at each other. Right before that, when he's in his daughter's bedroom and he looks over and he sees that alien on top of the roof, is one
Mhm.
of the scariest moments in cinema to me. I still to this day get freaked out whenever I look back at my house because it's backlit. We have the lake right
Yeah.
there, and everybody's docks lights up the behind my house.
Oh, you're
Anytime
afraid
I
of
walk
aliens,
out,
so.
I am. I'm afraid of aliens. And anytime I
that.
walk over to check my mail or I take the garbage cans out the night before or whatever, I look back at my house. And if it's dark, I instantly think of that scene every single time without fail. And I have to like book it to my house because I'm freaked out now. And it's completely killed by the very following scene.
Yeah.
People mentioned it in the chat that the kids are the way they talk is I see you when you talk about mom when you're by yourself. It's like children don't talk that way. I'm sorry.
Every
Yeah.
movie is monotoned. Everybody is in the same tone.
I
Same
guess it
tone,
feels
same
weirder from the
dialogue.
children because
It
they
does.
don't talk like
It
kids
is.
at all. Like
They
It is.
don't.
It is.
But Rory Culkin, he delivered his character so I thought like he's so smart and like the way he speaks in it, like it works for his character. The little girl, she's adorable, but yeah, it is kind of
Well,
weird
he
how
need to
dogs.
grow up fast, right? Like
Yeah.
the point for him.
Yeah.
yeah, but
It does
still,
make
they,
sense. But all of
he-
them sound the same.
They do.
They're
yeah.
all written by the same person, is what it feels like.
They're
Well, they
also
were.
going through a terrifying experience. So I don't know. I didn't even
It's
really
before
focus on
that.
that.
It feels like a little.
I mean,
It
it
starts with
starts
the
off
dog.
right
It starts
away
with the
though.
dog. Yeah, with the dog.
He
Yeah.
kills his own dog. That's so
Yeah.
traumatic. And
There's a
his
lot
dad's
of things
like
like
just
that.
sitting by him, like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Handshake.
Yeah.
Shake it out.
You had to deal
Handshake.
with
This
that.
poor, well, the
Did
poor
he
family's
attack
gone
you?
through a lot though. Like, think of how much they've already had to deal with. That was like
Oh, mom
nothing compared to
dying,
their
yeah.
mom. Yeah, like
Dad losing faith.
yeah,
Everybody
like
losing any inflection in their voice.
I thought the
I
dinner
didn't-
scene was very odd. I thought the dinner was like because they want him to believe so bad and say grace, and it's like cares, eat your food. Seems
That
like
part makes me tear up.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
It is
No, it
sad.
does. It does. It's
No,
really
it's
sad. When Abigail Breslin is crying,
Yeah.
he is crying and he feels guilty immediately and he knows what he just did. And that whole scene is just heart wrenching. And it's the most emotion in the entire movie. It feels like that's not manufactured by our own like viewership. Like, when he kills his own dog, we feel bad for that kid. Nobody else in that scene is crying or appearing to feel anything, but we feel bad. But that dinner scene is the only scene or the start, I think, of when they all lose their shit. They're just like finally feeling emotions and portraying emotions. There's some really cool shots that I like where they do close up, like almost fisheye shots of their
Mhm.
faces. That was really cool to wear the camera right in like on their chest or whatever. It looks like
Yeah.
they're doing those types of shots when the alien shows up and has his kid and everything's getting like into his face
Yeah.
and all the realizations are coming. Those are cool
I
shots.
I like the shot too when they're rolling the TV in and you can see the reflection of the alien, like, in the
oh yeah,
TV. I like that
that's
was
a
Mm,
cool
mhm.
one.
spooky to me as a kid. That one got me. They
All
make,
of the
like
alien scenes.
oh, that's
It,
so scary.
it
Yeah.
feels like the aliens represented the instance with his wife dying terribly in a car accident where she dies slowly and awake. She's just going for a walk at night. In this movie, the kind of the message is everything happens for a reason, which
She had to deliver that swing away or whatever. And the only way he
yes.
would ever remember it is if she died telling him.
I feel like the aliens are supposed to be representative of these uncontrollable moments that happen in life, whether it's losing a loved one, an accident,
Mhm.
something that changes your life forever,
Mhm.
having to deal with accepting that. And in this movie, everything. I'm an agnostic. I think some things happen for a reason, but some things are just. Sometimes things just happen. So it doesn't reach me the same way, but I don't think everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason.
I think that's partly me too. I think when I first saw Signs, I was living with my dad still. This is like before I moved away and really decided that I was like not a non-believer now. I was still deep in the church with my dad. And I think that this movie scared me even more then because there was this loss of faith that was so tied and integral to the story. I think that's around the time that I was losing faith. And so it had this different weight to it than it does now as a viewer I'm an atheist who believes in aliens. So the aliens part still freak me out. Like the losing faith part and like the signs and stuff and like the coincidences that are not coincidences, they're divine like workings. That part feels really manufactured and a little too heavy. But there's the movie, I don't think you guys watched this, so I'm only going to briefly talk about it. Devil's Gate, really cool. I highly recommend it. And it has a lot of religious like themes to it also. And it came out in 2017 and it has Milo Ventimiglia. Does anybody know
Okay.
how to say that guy's
Sure.
name?
I have no idea how to
And
say it.
he's the guy from Heroes. I never knew how to say his name right.
I've never seen it.
He's in it, and so is Shawn Ashmore. And
Mm.
I love Shawn Ashmore, but that movie is just really cool. There's some misdirection and how it resolves itself at the end. It's just really neat. I have not seen a movie like that before, so I really enjoyed it. It also gave me like Astronaut Wife vibes to a degree, which is also a really cool alien movie with Johnny Depp. And have you guys
I
seen
don't know.
Astronaut's
I
Wife?
haven't seen that one.
I
Mm.
saw it in theaters once. But before we move on, I just wanted to just like three movies that we don't have to go into, but that I like that are more about the alien. It's about the people, but it's about aliens trying to understand humanity or the
Charlie
idea of the.
Theron. Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah, the
Sorry.
idea of the soul, whether it's an actual spiritual soul or just some kind of essence, is if you want something like really artsy, more epic, Dark City is fantastic.
Oh, I
Love
love
Dark
Dark
City.
City. Yeah.
Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson is
Really cool.
such a
It's
great
so
movie.
beautiful.
And then The Man Who Fell to Earth, starring David Bowie. So those are all great movies dealing on those themes, but they're all very different. I think the Man Who Fell to Earth and Under the Skin are similar, but still very different.
Oh, cool.
What is the astronaut's wife about it? This is time travel
The
or
ast-
something.
No, the astronaut's wife is the one where her husband is an astronaut and he comes back from a mission and he's very different. It actually has a bit of an annihilation vibe going on because what it turns out is she gets pregnant by him once he's back. And you find out that he is an alien. and he's no longer her husband. It's got this tension that just builds and
Probably,
builds
you know what?
throughout her pregnancy. Yeah. This one's got Johnny Depp and Charlize Theron, but it's pretty cool. It's one of those, I don't know, it's a slow burn thriller more than anything, like a drama thriller. The 90s are full of those, and I love them. I love them so much. And it's one of them.
Yeah.
It's one of those good ones.
It kind of like the new. Have you guys seen the new one called Significant Other with Micah Monroe?
Not yet.
I
I've heard
haven't
it's
seen
very
it yet.
good. Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot, and it's similar to what you just described, but you have to watch it. I don't want to give anything.
That's how Devil's Gate is also. It has
Well,
very similar.
You've talked about Honeymoon, Crystal, which also is an alien movie, kind of, right?
Is it? Yeah. Or
yeah.
cosmic. It's one of those. I would
Yeah.
almost give it cosmic vibes. Or Fae? Is it Fae? I don't even know. I don't
It's
think you
kind of
know.
ambiguous.
It is
Yeah.
ambiguous. Yeah, it leaves you wondering what the heck it's actually about. But
Yeah. Oh, I like that
that's a
one.
good one. There's a couple.
No.
There's another one called Dark Encounter that I really liked. If you guys are into the kind of like emotional story, that one, it's so sad. Like this family goes through just these traumatic events. It's horrible, but the whole ending scene, I just remember being completely mesmerized by the like whole final act. I do recommend that one if you guys haven't seen Dark Encounter.
That sounds good.
I feel like we've also saved the best ones for last, and we haven't talked about them yet. And these are some of the best ones.
There's a lot we haven't talked about, actually.
Well, we didn't talk about Species, which I think is one of the sexiest movies. And we didn't talk about Invasion of the Body Snatchers or its
we gotta talk about Invasion
creation.
of the Body Snatchers.
And we haven't talked about
my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
The Faculty.
We didn't talk about Mars Attacks either. And I did rewatch that because that's one of my favorite Tim Burton movies of all time.
I forgot to rewatch that one.
God, I'm such a sucker for teen horror, 90s teen horror especially.
Me too. Oh,
and The Faculty just nails it.
This cast is fucking fantastic. I love everybody in this movie.
Perfect. It's the perfect 90s to 2000s cast. Perfect.
Yeah, it literally is. And it has Robert Patrick, who we've already talked about.
It does.
Yeah.
T2.
God, they're all so
It's always T2 to me, or Agent Doggett. I always think of him.
It's always the Faculty for me.
Football coach. That's who I focus on. Just
every single time.
Everything to me. This is probably one of my most watched movies ever. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen this.
Please report to the principal's office.
Oh man, it's so good. And when the hot teacher and she like turns into the alien in her head.
Oh, Sam T. Johnson.
Literally
the reference to the thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
It kind of feels like a weird idea of how the world of adults, when you're a teen, is just like so surreal and they act so weird to you. Really,
yeah.
it feels that way. They're so alien. Yeah.
And that's why the whole faculty room is so cool, because you're getting a sneak peek into like how much these teachers like hate you in their job. And that's how we feel as teens. Like they are like, he's a drunk, he hates us, she's like quiet and impossible and always fails me,
or he's weirdly into you as an adult.
Yeah, weirdly into you.
Don't see it that
John
way.
Stewart is the cool science teacher that everybody loves. And then when he, in the beginning, it's so funny because he has the most dumb foreshadowing line ever. Nobody ever says this. But someone says something about budget or whatever, and he's like, stick a pen in my eye. Who said that? Nobody says that, but he says it specifically because later he gets a pen in his eye.
Yeah.
It is the most on the nose foreshadow. It's so bad, but it's so fun.
I think it's meant to be. It's meant to be, I think.
I mean, you wouldn't have Jon Stewart deliver that, right?
No.
Or maybe you would.
Yeah. And then Usher is in it, like randomly.
Yeah. Usher.
But he's showed on the cover of every poster.
Yeah.
That was before he was big, really as big as he became as a singer, wasn't it? Or was it during that time?
Oh, that was like the beginning of his like big singing career. In fact, it might be towards like the middle of it.
He was known.
I think was his start of his decline.
Oh, what's it with Little John? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Like it. I don't think he did any hits after that.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. But yeah, Elijah Wood, pre-Ring.
Yeah.
Little Elijah.
He always looks like a baby to me. He's a little
He
baby. He's
does.
He
older than
still
me,
looks
but
like a
he's a little
baby.
He gets
baby.
Jordana
Yeah.
Brewster.
Yeah.
Fast
And
and the
it's
Furious.
good.
The
I
biggest
think
fan.
Clea Duvall. Clea Duvall's in it. She's fantastic.
Love her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love her.
Man,
She was
the
so
whole
cool.
cast.
Although I hate what they did to her character so much because she was such a cool goth chick. And then they like prettied her up at the end. That is my one complaint about this movie. You could have kept her like a badass. Dude had a crush on her anyways. Why does she need to suddenly wear flowers and like less makeup and be so pretty for her boyfriend?
Less makeup. It's that when guys like I like girls that don't wear makeup, and it's always they always show a picture of a girl wearing makeup because they don't know what makeup looks like.
Yeah,
It's really funny.
Yeah.
it was very like Breakfast Club. Or I don't know. It just was unnecessary because we had the craft.
Yeah.
She didn't need to be prettied up. Yeah, so there's an amazing cast of like
Yeah.
90s teen horror. Oh, I'm sure we'll do a 90s teen horror episode because we just have to. It's my favorite. It's
Yeah,
like
we have to.
one of my favorite subgenres.
I love my hags. I'm a hag girl. Always have been, always will be. Can't wait to be one in full completion. I've started the process. It's getting there.
There's a great locker room hag scene in Faculty where she's just like peeling away and
I don't remember. I haven't seen
shriveling
it in a long
up.
time.
So I didn't rewatch all of the Invasion iterations. I just watched 1978 with Donald Sutherland. Forget that he's in it every single
What?
time.
He's the
Like
reason I watch it.
he's so handsome in this one, and he's
Oh
so
my god.
Goldbloomy. I
I
love it.
love
Yeah,
him.
He's
I
like my
totally forgot he was in
He
it.
reminds me of my uncle.
What? I want to
I have
meet
a,
him.
I really like the design of the flower pods, the like pod things. I
Oh,
think really
yeah.
cool. And I want to make a bunch of them or paint them all over this studio and just have them like growing out of the corners of the room and stuff. I think
That'd
that'd
be
be really
cool.
cool because they're so
Well,
like iconic.
the
Yeah.
original, you think a lot about the Cold War and the fear of the Soviets and all that kind of stuff, and people aren't who they say they are, and all these secrets. And then but Donald Sutherland, I think that's my favorite one. I gotta say, I usually go for the older one, but he's just so convincing in that movie. I'm a big Donald Sutherland fan.
His
And
hair
Kiefer.
is great.
It's curly. It's one of the most iconic science fiction endings too.
Yeah, I love
And
it so
I
much.
remember very
Oh, the
distinctly when I
acting.
first saw it, I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought he was blending in and she was going to expose. But it is one of those interesting stories of more the idea of invasion of this unknown force that isn't necessarily extraterrestrial. It's just told that way through allegory. This idea of group thinking, like the Borg Queen. Love her. First Contact, best Star Trek movie. Anyway, the idea of group thinking and the unhealthiness of it and how everything becomes this one homogenous thing where the group decides what's best for humanity. It's so scary.
It
And
is.
Spock and Leonard Nimoy's in it. Spock's in it. So there's another Star Trek thing for you.
It is a scary concept. This whole story, like the whole invasion of the body snatcher story, is a terrifying concept. Imagine that just happening. Oh my god. Like I couldn't live on this earth anymore if that was actually going on around me.
I
I'd
think
be
it's
so scared.
scarier than zombies in the sense that it's like
Yeah.
they look like the person you love, but they act like a normal human being for the most part. But it's the person you love is not there. They are gone.
They're not there yet. Oh, it scares the hell out of me.
They reference it in the Faculty too, both Invasion of the Body Snatchers and Puppet Masters, which also has Donald Sutherland, like Chupacabra was saying. I loved the Puppet Masters movie when I was younger, and I'd always try to tell people, "Have you seen the Puppet Masters?" And they always bring up like the actual Puppet Master one, the puppets, or they think I'm talking about Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but no. It was the Puppet Masters with the Lanta ray looking things that would hook onto people's backs and like stick things in their brain stems.
Oh, we're not talking about not the Full Moon Puppet Masters, the series with the little puppets.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying happens. Every like the Puppet Masters, 1994. It's good. It's such a good movie. I love that movie. It's very 90s, but yeah, I like it.
I haven't watched that forever. Oh my god.
I loved the alien thing being like on their back and like in their neck and stuff. I mix it up with Arrival. Is it Arrival? The Arrival with Charlie Sheen.
I haven't seen that
one.
That's another great alien one. Man, have you guys seen the Nicole Kidman version, The Invasion, with
No,
Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig? It's
no.
actually really good. But
I
I
see
swear,
her iconic AMC ad though.
I swear that
Not no one was. It's like everyone's crazy about it. I'm
I
sorry.
know, but I swear that the ending of The Invasion is happy. Like it's a happy ending. But
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't remember, and I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. But I could have sworn it was like a happy ending, and that's like the big difference. But also Daniel Craig is fantastic in it. He's so dreamy.
Daniel
Which
Craig
is
is dreamy.
But I think what's scary about like the invasion storylines for any of them is the fact that if you fall asleep, that's when it creates you or like recreates you.
Yeah.
What I don't get is there a way to win if they get far away enough they can fall asleep, or does it already have their DNA and it's just waiting for them to fall asleep and it can recreate them anywhere? Because it seems like there's always a pod just
They
conveniently
need to fall
nearby.
asleep. They need to
Like,
fall asleep. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
but buy a pod or just anywhere.
they're making sure there are pods available as there are more people. They're making like set up people to be by a pod. Yeah. Like the pod grows the person over time, like replicant. It takes time. Remember, like the
Yeah, but
Opal
do
one
they
is like
have to
fully
fall
formed.
asleep like in a certain distance from a pod? Because they
Well,
just seem
there's
to
a
randomly
specific
be
pod.
anywhere.
Whole group, the hive mind starts setting it up to the point once they're everywhere. Yes.
Because like where when she gets like replicated is in a random
She brings
field.
it home. Oh, in random
No.
field. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
she's
right.
like in a random field. And then
Yeah.
there's like when all of them are
She
at her
falls
house
asleep.
or whatever, they all fall asleep in different places and they're like all getting replicated in the courtyard where he fell asleep. And like it's just
I
I
guess
don't
it
get it.
doesn't fully form until a certain point. I don't know.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Do you have to be like a certain distance from a pod for it to be able to recreate you? Or do they, this hive just automatically know now that it's been near you once and it's just waiting for you to fall asleep and go into
Or
a certain
my thought is that
spaces?
maybe they're a certain form of human, and then they wait till they're to a certain distance from a specific human to specify more to that person, as opposed to just
Yeah,
general
I don't
human.
know. McPherson tape. Or we could
This is
talk about my
another
thirsty
found footage.
species movie.
I love
Either
how
way,
you're like, it's like you're a delicious move. It's like when I say New Hampshire, that's crystals. It's like
I could just eat it up.
tons
I
of
actually,
them.
to be fair, I actually don't even love the McPherson tape. I don't
I love
think it's
the
fantastic.
idea of it. Like
Yeah, I like the
it's
idea.
it is very much like you just found a VHS of a
Mhm.
part of like in Cloverfield, but like of just like a birthday. It's a birthday party, right?
Yeah.
And someone's home, and then aliens invade. It's a lot like that, and
But it's
it's
like,
shot like someone left the camera there.
yeah, the aliens are literally just little people dressed up as aliens. Like, it's not a good alien design, and it's just there's so much wasted time. It's only like an hour-long movie. It's very quick,
Yeah,
but
it feels longer, but
it feels
it's
longer because they spend like 20 minutes playing Go Fish and shit. Like, they just waste a bunch of time during the movie that doesn't need to really be in there.
But it was a
But
passion project, and it was
it
iconic because
is.
it's one of the earliest found footage.
It is.
Besides Hannibal Holocaust, which is its
Yeah.
own thing, we won't go into as
This is
unrelated.
like a decade earlier than Blair Witch. I think this is 89 or something. Like, this is 10 years prior.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's good in that sense. And yeah, like what they
Has
did
her
with their little
excited
tiny
face.
budget.
She's like, I love this movie.
Yeah,
Justine is
Justine
over
would
it.
hate this. A lot of it was improvised, which is pretty impressive because it's like a one take shot, like hour-long movie. Like, they do a pretty good job keeping it going for about an hour. It's fine. It's a good one to add in here in case you guys haven't seen it. I recommend it. Just in case.
It's unique.
It
And I'm
is.
not saying that as its own thing. It's unique. If you can take something that takes its time, and that you could tell it's a passion project of
Mhm.
people really wanted to make it. Like Feeders. Feeders is a little bit, it's goofier. It's a
Yeah.
different kind of fun. But you got to appreciate the passion for making the movie.
There's an actual fan favorite that we didn't mention either, and it's Attack the Block. And I hear people talk about that movie all the time.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
And I won't say anything. It's got really cool creature design. It's a good one. It's a good
When did it come out?
underrated gem. I don't know, 2011. This is like
Oh,
John
okay.
Boyega's first movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen
But
it.
Nick Frost is in it too.
Oh,
Oh.
we haven't talked about They Live.
Nope.
I haven't seen that
No.
one.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah, like a long time ago. I used to think that my memories used to make me think that They Live was a zombie movie
It
until I
kind of
rewatched it
is.
as an adult and realized it was more like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers movie. They Live is the one with the bubblegum reference, Crystal, that everybody
Yeah,
quotes.
I came here to do
Here
two
it is, here, two
things.
things.
Gas and
Oh,
Yes,
chew
and
bubble gum
bubble gum, and I'm
and a
all out of
yeah.
bubble
bubble
and bubble
gum.
by
Yeah,
Piper the Wrestler. It's
yeah.
very much anti Reagan's America, commercialism, being part of the herd again type of movie. It's fun.
Mhm.
It feels like a little bit more of a fun version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers in a way.
Yeah,
It doesn't have pods. But the thing is that people that can see, like, see the truth, they can see it through these sunglasses and it looks normal. But when they put the sunglasses on, they have these weird, like, flayed
robot
faces.
look.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
they almost
flay
look like yeah, they're flayed, but they almost look like
bug
they're
eyes.
animatronics almost underneath or
I
something.
think
Like they
that's
have
just like
just
the
eyeballs and
quality,
like
yeah.
metal faces or something.
It's overt, but in a way that feels right. I mean, it has a wrestler starring in it, but it fits so well. If you really want a great Carpenter 80s movie that says
80s, yeah, 80s action Carpenter.
fuck you, Ronald Reagan, that's They Live. I have the Criterion version of it, which I wish I had thought to bring down here. It is the sickest cover. It is so awesome. It looks great. But anyway,
I'll put it on the
Did you?
list.
So it's funny because earlier I mentioned Evolution, and that's also an Alien movie, and I don't know why I didn't take advantage of talking about it then, but
I haven't
I
seen that
love
one
that
either.
movie so much. It's so funny. Wait, you haven't seen it?
which one?
David Duchovny,
Oh,
There.
Evolution,
no.
Julianne Moore.
Oh, it's okay.
What's his face? The funny guy from American Pie, Stifler's in it. Sean William Scott. It's
The
Stifler.
funny guys.
it's so funny. I love that movie. I mentioned it earlier is because you guys were talking about how they like win with Coca-Cola, but in
Mm.
They
Evolution they
save
saved the day
they
Oh, yeah,
save
you
their
mentioned that.
parents' lives with the
with Coca-Cola.
nutrition of Coca-Cola. Yes, that is
Yeah,
what
in
happens in that
Evolution
movie.
they save everybody's lives with the selenium sulfide and Selsun Blue.
Yeah.
And it's like two dummies like know about Selsun Blue because they have such great hair. Like
I haven't seen that movie since it came out. It's been a
Head and
while.
Shoulders. Yeah, Head and Shoulders. Was it Head and Shoulders or Selsun Blue? I could be mixing them up. It's one of those. Yeah. It's so funny.
But
Caw-caw!
I was a big
Caw-caw!
X Files fan. I love how they took real conspiracies and some that weren't even public knowledge. Operation Paperclip, when America took a lot of the Nazi doctors over to work as scientists and incorporated it with alien invasion. It sounds hilarious. Talking about
We
Nazi doctors,
established
that's
that
so funny. Oh,
Tookie doesn't work. I'm sorry. The comments are sending me because it's such a funny movie. It's one of those movies that you watch, the Eight-Legged Freaks and Slither. They're just ridiculous and fun.
no, I should. I love Juliana Moore and I love David Duchovny and stuff.
And she's
Yeah.
really fun. She's like this, like she's treated like she's an uptight professional, but really she's like klutz and really nice. It's a good one. It's a good one. Sorry, I hijacked the chat
It's
with
okay.
Tookie.
Yeah, but I loved how in the X Files they took a lot of real conspiracies and the idea of Men in Black. It's actually a phenomenon that happens where people aren't sure if the Men in Black, not like Will Smith Men in Black, but are
Government. Yeah.
no. Thing is, it's either the government or it because there's
Deep
always a
state.
level of high strangeness when people meet the Men in Black to the point where if you tell the story, no one will ever believe you. There's a funny episode where people are telling their stories about how they encountered Mulder and also these Men in Black, and one of them is Alex Trebek, and Alex Trebek makes a cameo appearance. The idea that like there's this high strangeness to it. It's usually not Alex Trebek, but that no one would believe that it actually happened. But the X Files, I was a big X Files fan, as I've told you guys before. I was no fun as a teenager. I didn't do anything fun at all, and I just watched the X Files and ate Pop Tarts on my couch in my room.
X-Files is one of my comfort shows. I love
Me
that show.
too.
I watch it a
And
lot.
Me too.
we need to talk about Species.
So Species is like one of those movies that I always put on my Netflix and chill lists. Anytime some this is me being an asshole. It's not because I think that the movie is specifically sexy. I think it's funny to watch with someone who thinks that they're going to watch a movie with you on a date and is like trying to get some and they're like, "Ooh, we can Netflix and chill." I'm like, "Yeah, let's watch Species." Because ironic. She eats them. Yeah, and I love that. That's my humor. Also, she's just friggin' gorgeous. Natasha Henstridge, yeah. Ben Kingsley is in it. Come on.
I love Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, it's great. I think the only downfall that the movie Species has is the CGI in the cave scene. Like, it's not good at all. And it did not stand the test of time. It gives very much. Did you guys ever watch Lost in Space, the
Mm-mm.
movie
No.
with Joey from Friends?
No.
No? Oh my
Okay.
God,
Or
I
the
have such
original
a crush
Lost in
on him.
Space with the big robot, like Danger, Will Robinson from
Danger,
Lightyear.
Will Robinson.
I did
Well,
not see the one with Joey from Friends, though. So there's such disdain. Ugh,
I
sorry.
loved that movie when I was younger.
I haven't
Oh my
seen
God.
it. I haven't
Yes,
seen it.
Gary
So.
Oldman is Dr. Smith, but he turns into a spider creature in it, and the
I have
CGI
not
of
seen this
him
movie.
as a spider
Me
creature
neither.
and her as an alien are like the same. They're the same creature. They're the same thing. I don't know. Anyways, they remind me of each other every time I watch one of those movies. Reminds me of the other. Yeah, the
Is
CGI
the
is
robot
terrible.
that says Danger Will Robinson in that one too?
Yeah, it is. It's also in the show. And I hear the show is really good. I watched the first season and I liked it, but I never went back and finished it.
Does anyone ever utter the phrase "How you doing" in it?
No, but the like teenage girl has a major crush on him, and so did I, and I was her age when that movie came out. But his love interest is the girl from the Michael Myers movies.
The Halloween movies?
No,
Oh,
Mike
Daniel
Myers.
Harris?
No, Mike
Oh.
Myers.
Oh, Austin Powers.
Austin Powers. Heather Graham. Heather Graham is his love
Oh,
interest
Heather
in that,
Graham's in
and
the
she's
second. Okay. Heather Graham is only in the sequel.
yeah. So is
The
Beyonce.
Spy. No, shut up. Beyonce is in the third
Gold
Mike
Okay.
Myers Gold member. Okay.
I'm
And
saying the
Same.
love
Elizabeth-
interest in those movies changes every time. So
and Elizabeth Hurley is the original love
Wow.
interest.
who knew?
True.
Who knew she would die on that hill?
I mean, Austin Powers is serious business.
I love Austin Powers. Like,
Me too.
don't.
Those
Those
are an
those
iconic
movies.
trilogy. When
We were like the right
Yeah.
age for that's humor to be funny, and I still think it's funny. It's
Yeah,
not
no.
mine. Sorry.
It's still iconic. But Heather Graham is his love interest in Lost in Space.
As we're getting ready to release our edited, polished version of our cryptid episode, one of our most polished episodes of all, where we're just fighting over what a
Is
cryptid
it? I
is.
was like, the sarcasm, by the way, you guys. That is Emma sarcasm.
Is my wrong?
No, it's just so hard to tell sometimes when you're being serious.
I know. It's lovely. It's my. No, I'm not trying. It's not our most polished episode. It is a fun watch, though. I had fun watching it. But I believe, Justine, you said aliens were cryptids, along with
I
you
did.
also said Krampus was a cryptid.
Yep.
We're not gonna get back into this.
I stand by it, but I don't think all cryptids are aliens, okay? Aliens are cryptids, not all cryptids are aliens.
I never accused you of such.
Aliens come from
I'm a-
cryptids, can be from anywhere on Earth.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
Sure.
Can I recommend two movies? I'm not even going to talk about them. I'm just going to recommend them to the
Please
chat
do.
if they haven't
Please
seen
do.
them. The Seed is one of them, and the other one is Altered. Altered is really good. The Seed, you got to get through it. You got to get through
Have
the
I
first
seen
half.
Altered?
I don't know, but it's got some good body horror, and it's got a
Ooh, I'm
really
in.
cool. It's got a
Body
really cool
horror.
creature design. I highly recommend Altered. So if you guys are wanting, and then the Seed is just like I said, you got to get through the first bit till it becomes fucking crazy. There's like an alien orgy. It's a whole thing.
The
But
Seed?
you
In the
have to
Seed?
power through. Yeah.
Is it like Society?
No, it's about these influencers who go up to this like their friend's house to film, I think like a meteor shower or something, and an alien ends up falling into the pool in the backyard, and then it it gets fucking crazy after that. Once we meet the alien, it's just so weird. It's
I'm
one of the
watching that one
weirdest.
immediately after we're done here.
It's you just have to get like the acting is bad. Like the acting is like it's like the typical like influencer girls that are like, oh my god, like those. tip types
You
of
had
people.
me
You
at
know, like
Alien Orgy.
it gets really crazy.
But I love that influencer horror is its own thing
Mm.
now. That
I
is a
like
whole genre.
I'm into it. Like I always have a
I
good
like
So,
time.
speaking of Alien Orgies, make sure you guys join our Discord. The link is in the links.
I'm not sure how that correlates, but yeah, I mean,
There's no orgies. We don't even talk about aliens that much.
Okay, if you guys are wondering if Emma's an alien, she just had a short circuit.
What I do
There's
in my
no
private time is my
boo.
time.
There's no orgies.
There isn't.
Okay,
There
so join our
isn't.
Discord. Speaking of influencers, if you want to support this podcast, you can
We're
join our
not
Patreon.
influencers. No, don't say that about us. Don't say that.
We are
Say.
content creators.
Best to trigger you guys.
I know, and it's working.
I can't even say any of it seriously. God.
We usually have general discussions about horror movies, horror books, and just general chat about being in the
Alien
horror community
orgies.
and alien.
Alien orgies.
We will after I watch that movie.
Let me know what you think, because I feel like a lot of people really didn't like it, but I had a good time watching it.
I will
Like,
let
it was
you
fun.
all know in the
Please let
Discord
us know.
about the
Yeah.
alien orgy.
Yeah, please.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Until next time. Phone home.
Oh no, I can't remember how he does it. I wish that my finger lit up.
Oh my god, that was so good. Phone home.
Live long and prosper, guys. We love you.
Oh my god.